Purpose of this video is to show you a little bit about comparative advantage using a production possibilities example of two countries who could produce rum or crystal. Ireland, as you can see by this graph or this table, can choose to make either rum or crystal, ceteris paribus, either 1,000,000 units of crystal or 100,000 units of rum. Puerto Rico, 80,000 units of crystal or 80,000 units of rum. So if we take this tabular information, we put it into a curve, we can see what happens here as the information begins at point A, 1,000,000 crystal. And then, we also have what's called opportunity cost, what you would give up if you made less crystal to produce more rum. As we go through the cycle, that plots on the curve, and that's for Ireland. In Puerto Rico, it's 80,000. And once again, if they were to give up certain quantities there, notice it costs them 40,000 units of opportunity costs if they decide to make 40,000 units of rum. Now, there are things called absolute advantage and comparative advantage. Absolute advantage is who can make more. So who can make more here of crystal? Obviously, Ireland can. Who can make more of rum? Ireland can. But we don't care about absolute advantage. We want to know about comparative advantage. Who can make it in the most cost-effective manner. So to do that, there's a 5-step process you need. Now let's run through those 5 steps quickly. You have to set up a table. Remember, comparative advantage is whoever can produce at a lower marginal opportunity cost. So here we go. Set up a table like this. How much does it cost Ireland in crystal to make one rum? Or to make one crystal, how much rum does it cost? And the same thing for Puerto Rico. So we look at the axes, we got 80 and 80. Oh, that looks an awful like a 1-to-1 ratio. So let's go to Puerto Rico first here. And if you look over on the other side, it's 100,000 rum to 1,000,000. That looks awful like a 1-to-10 or a 10-to-1 ratio to me. So let's see what happens. We're going to fill in the blanks with Puerto Rico. How much does one rum cost? I'll bet it costs 1 crystal. 1 crystal costs 1 rum. It's what they have to give up of 1 to make the other. Go over to Ireland. Notice 1 rum costs 10 crystal. So obviously, 10 times 100,000 is 1,000,000. And 1 crystal is 1/10 of 1 rum. So whoever has comparative advantage has the cheapest cost here. So, what's cheaper? 1 rum equaling 10 crystal or 1 rum equaling 1 crystal? Obviously, Puerto Rico has comparative advantage in crystal because they have to give up they have a comparative advantage in rum because they have to give up less crystal to make it. Who has comparative advantage in crystal? Well, look here. Ireland, 1/10 of 1 rum to make 1 crystal, whereas Puerto Rico has to give up 1-to-1. So, what does this mean? It means that they should specialize and trade. This is what I just went over a little earlier without the wicked special effects. So, Ireland should produce all the crystal, Puerto Rico should produce all the rum. How much crystal should Ireland produce? Basically, 1,000,000 cases. Take it to the limit and then trade what you need for rum. And Puerto Rico will be willing to trade. Now basically, no, they shouldn't hold on to all of its cases. They need to specialize and trade because when nations specialize and trade, both sides benefit. Ireland can get their rum cheaper than they can make it themselves. Puerto Rico can get their crystal cheaper than they can make it themselves, so both sides benefit. And that's it in a nutshell, comparative advantage using rum and crystal.